we as leaders have to be very careful with what we say and how we say it to people, because it can actually determine the trajectory of how their relationship continues with God.
Yeah.
And how we have to think about what we say. Is it more reparative into the heart of God, and how God is a restoring God, and he's restorative, or is it pretty much like, yeah, no, God no longer agrees with you, you have no relationship? And I think for me, if I was a Christian that was very immature, I would have taken that and I would have said, well, dang, ain't no need of me still trying in this relationship.
Yeah.
Being in worship ministry, I've seen a lot. I've had some fails and some really cool wins, but all of that has led me to this. It's now my turn to share my journey and remind others you're not alone. Welcome to the Worship Afterisms podcast, where we discuss our worship fails and our faith wins while helping you find your key one afterism at a time.
Hey, what's up, y'all? Welcome back to the Worship Afterisms podcast. Y'all, look, today is completely different. If you've noticed, I'm on the other side of this couch today, but I brought in one of the greatest interviewers of our time. My sister. You guys have actually seen her, Kimology, on our second episode.
Yes.
But today is going to be a little bit different, and I'm excited about that.
Yeah.
Y'all have vision from the Lord, and today is going to be us executing that vision. But I felt like it's time to turn the mic on the host. So we're gonna do a reverse interview.
Yeah.
Kim, you got it. Hey.
Hey, what's up, guys? It's your girl Kimology, and like Chris said, I have the esteemed pleasure of being here with him and just having a conversation. Thank you so much for asking me to be a part, because people don't have to ask you to do nothing, but he asked me, and I'm not gonna make it through this interview because I'm really emotional, because he asked me, of all people of the world. He could have asked anyone. You could have asked Oprah, you could have asked
Oprah is crazy.
So you could ask J Hud. She has a show. Sherry. So here I am, and I'm really excited. Don't do that with me. Don't shimmy. Yes, Chris, so we're gonna talk today. We're gonna get a little personal. I did go back through all of your episodes, and I had so much fun watching and hearing everyone's story, starting with yours, because you did give an introduction into the show, as far as like the meaning of Worship Afterisms, because I thought that was so cool when you asked me to be on your show. You were like, yeah, I want you to be on my show, sis. It's called Worship Afterisms. Like, what's an afterism? So can you, just for the viewers out there, just kind of break down where the title of the show came from, Worship Afterisms?
Yeah, absolutely. Y'all, so like for real, kind of like I've mentioned in our like first episode, Afterisms, Worship Afterisms is a podcast that I felt God had inspired me to kind of create and birth. And it took forever for me to start it, right? And as I was kind of journeying, I was like, man, worship was kind of like trendy, but not really out there.
Yeah.
What would capture people's attention, and people were like, oh,
right.
What's an afterism?
Yeah.
If you don't know what an afterism is, all it is a slang word. It's kind of like in that moment, like those moments where you might have been in an argument and you left the argument and you was like, dang, I should have said that.
Oh my God, that's me.
And it's like,
I'm not saying I argue with people all the time, but I'm saying like, you'd be like, dang, I should have said this. Yeah, no, for real.
It's always those moments. And I'm like, man, how many times have I been in a conversation or I've done something and I did it and it might have actually been successful or it failed. And I was like, dang.
Yeah.
I should have did this thing. And it actually would have been better if I had done this.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh my God.
And I was just like, okay, God, how does that apply to worship? And in worship, a lot of times I got the unique experience of kind of being thrown into it.
What?
thrown into worship. For real, as I didn't start in worship. I actually started at school. I didn't even really know I could sing.
Yeah, and your music
I
teacher.
auditioned.
Yeah,
I auditioned
yeah.
from a music teacher, and she pretty much signed me up for like a classical music program.
Yes.
And I started doing all that, and I started excelling. And my mom was like, "Nah, we need to give this back to God." Right?
Yeah.
And that kind of progressed to me falling in the hands of some other leaders, and they were like, yeah, we see what God's doing in you.
Yeah.
Go and do this. But this is the hard part. I was like, I don't want to do that.
That is really a thing though? Seriously, when it comes to any worship leader, any person that was just in church like that, or had a parent that was very much involved in ministry, it's like people can see it before we do. And there's not this rush to like, ooh, okay, ooh, I wanna lead worship. It's like, no, I'll be in the back, or I don't want to do it.
Yeah.
Why do you think that's a thing?
I think I can only go from my own personal experience. I had two parents that were pastors.
Oof.
And I was just like, man, the amount of work and sacrifice that takes, I don't want that.
Listen.
And then like, when you are a PK, you also get to see them battle their spiritual battles out in front of you because you live with them. Okay. And I was like, Jesus, I don't want that.
Right, no.
I don't want that.
Yeah.
And it was kind of like, no, God has called you to himself. And everything that we do must first belong to God.
Yeah.
Give it back to him. And and if you had a parent like my mama, it wasn't really a choice if I was going to show up or not. It's, no, we're going to give this to you. Train up a child in the way they should go.
Yeah. But after doing so, after you were kind of like pushed into that space, did you feel like it was confirmation in some kind of way? Do you feel like maybe even just in your uncertainty, you were still like, I know I need to be doing this? Or was it just completely like, no, I'm good?
I think my journey for worship actually took a while for me to actually finally be like, yeah, God.
Really?
Right? And not necessarily because I didn't know and God didn't show signs.
Right.
It was more of like, I really don't want to do this. That's a lot, God.
Yeah.
And then you get to see it. And quite frankly, like when God calls you into ministry, your friends get to do other things that you're not getting to do. Right? So I'm not getting to hang out with them because I'm prepping for worship. And it's like, man, I want to be young. I want to play with the boy. I
want to go.
And not so much, but I can clearly look back and be like, okay, God was always calling me to do this.
Sure.
Right? At small little moments. For instance, my very first concert, actually at the school, I sang Amazing Grace.
Yes.
Ironically, and you guys probably already heard that portion of the story. But what you didn't hear is like the entire time leading up to that performance, I call it now an attack from the enemy. I got really hoarse, lost my voice. And my teacher actually was like, no, send him home. She called my mom. Yeah, he needs to be here tonight, but he needs to rest his voice. And I sang that song without being able to hear myself. And it touched the room in a way that I was like,
that's crazy, Chris.
That's God. That's different. That's different.
Yeah.
And then I started singing with all the other choirs within the church and started to excel. And eventually it was like, okay, God, you're moving people's hearts through this. And it's doing something I didn't think I was capable of doing with this. Mm-hmm. Right? Mm-hmm. So it eventually turned into like, okay, yeah, my mom's right. I got to get this back. I got to give it back to God.
Yeah.
So
I think that's wonderful. And I think I'm just still blown away just as someone that was also involved in ministry as well. Like, it's almost like I knew, but I was like, no. And my biggest thing was I was very animated and like, not shy around my friends, but like in front of a mic. No. And I had like a few instances where it just did not go right. Yeah. And I was like, I'm never singing ever again. Like, don't ask me to sing anything anymore. And it just, years passed, of course, but I always had a yearning for it. But I think I had to finally get to a space where I was comfortable with my voice. Yeah. And so I kind of always knew because I was always drawn to it as a kid. Like, praise and worship was just my thing since I was a kid. And so I think that's so crazy. Even though, of course, God gave you signs along the way, you finally came into a space where you're like, okay, this is what I want. Even after your mom saying, hey, okay, I see it, but you need to do it.
Yeah.
Still after that, you finally came into your own voice and your own, mind of, okay, this is really for me and this is what God wants me to do. So I think that's wonderful.
And I think that's a lovely way to start it, though, also.
Yeah.
Like, because our introduction is always from someone else, right?
Yeah.
And then we have to discover God for ourselves in here on behalf of our own self, in our own relationship with God.
Yeah.
What we're exactly supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of things that people are going to be like, you're supposed to do that.
Like, I'm supposed to play the drums.
You want to play these drums.
Why are you laughing when I said that? Because I get tired of people be like, Kim, sing. I want you to come sing at this wedding. Why didn't you ask me to play the drums? I mean, I don't know how to play them. I can do a little something. But anyway, I want to play the drums. But yes, I think that's beautiful. And thank you so much for sharing that with us. So you briefly spoke about kind of how Worship Afterisms, the show, came about. But what really pushed you into doing this podcast? Because you were a little hesitant, you said, about kind of going into this space. And we just want to know, what was that situation or that defining moment that's like, I need to create this space for other people that were in the church like me?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, hold on. All right.
That calls for we're gonna go. Let's go there.
Okay.
Let's really go there.
Yeah.
So I had been like doing worship at this point in my life. I'd already been in it like for some time, but I was a worship pastor at a church, and then I moved to another church out of hearing from God saying like, hey, it's time to grow. It's time to move, it's time to grow higher and learn more. And I moved to this church where I was actually one of the worship leaders, kind of on staff, not unofficially, but wasn't really like an official named pastor for them, but kind of worked in the worked in the role of assistant. I was kind of everywhere. I was leading youth. I was leading young adults, and then eventually like moved to helping lead on Sunday mornings. Right.
Can I ask you something? Were you getting paid?
I was.
Okay.
It was very minimal though. Like now that I look back at it, I'm like, what could have been paid wasn't paid for the amount of work. But I also have to think about it like this: ministry is always a job that the amount of payment will never outweigh the work that you have to do because it's ministry. There's gonna be people calling you in the middle of the night saying crazy things, needing prayer, all the things, and there's no amount of money that can be like, okay, that actually suffices my time that I kind of lost or I put in.
Okay.
Right. So I was getting paid, and then I actually transitioned, and I was singing, and both my grandmother and my stepfather passed during that season, and I actually I heard God in the season be like, you need to take a break.
Okay.
You it's about that time. You need to relax. You need to hear from me. You need to rest in me and abide in me, and like you need to take a break. But for me at the time, I was working also at the YMCA, so it was like part-time worship and full-time career at another job. And I was like, and it was a YMCA's nonprofit organization. They weren't necessarily paying like their teachers as much as they could.
Yeah.
And I'm out on my own. I'm living by myself. I'm like, okay, God, I can take that break, but that means I also have to take
I need more money.
Pay cut.
I need the money,
realistically,
Jesus.
which is crazy.
Yeah.
Because I should have just trusted God.
Honestly.
Yeah. But I didn't. There goes my mistake. There we go. There's one. That's the first one.
We all do that.
I didn't, and I stayed in it, and I got exhausted, and I got tired.
Jesus.
And quickly, pastor, stop checking on you, right? Because you're showing up as a leader, and it appears that you have healed from the wound of grief and you're up here and you're a strong leader. But that's kind of what I'm like, that's what I do. I have to birth faith for people, give faith for people. Like, I have to show up strong, right?
Yeah.
And you kind
regardless of how you feel.
Exactly.
You have to show up for the church.
Right.
My God.
So in that season, I got really tired and I got exhausted. And honestly, I would say even spiritually weak. I was spending time with God, but that tangible need for people to check on you wasn't happening. Right. And then in the same hand, I'm looking for a spouse, and then you hear women that you're not even attracted to walk up. God told me that.
Oh, girl, be quiet. Girl.
You're my husband.
Oh.
And then it caused this like real battle on the inside of like, God, am I being superficial because I've still been waiting for a wife?
And these are women that you like.
Not attracted.
What's their names? I need to know who they are so I can bust them out on this podcast. Because, girl, I hated that. That didn't happen to me, but it happened to my best friend.
Yeah.
It's a thing.
It's
like,
crazy.
Oh, how did you deal with that?
Most times I'm like, look, if God called you, he'll reveal it to me, but he ain't spoke to me yet. Because he's not going to tell you without telling me.
Were you attracted to them?
No. And that was the crazy part. It's like, okay.
Get out of here.
Cool. So but it took me into another phase of questioning with God of like, okay, am I not hearing you?
Right.
And am I being a little like superficial about what I like, you know?
Right. Am my standards too high?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So finally I was just like, look, all right, God, I'm tired of waiting.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, and I'm tired of having like really deep search your heart, right? And I don't feel like leaders talk about that. We talk about the whole like, oh yeah, just wait on your person, and like da 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 da.
No.
But what happens like when you're in leadership, but you also have to still deal with your own set of like temptations and flesh and desires, but you're single, and then you got people walking up to you like, yeah, you my husband.
Yeah, girl. No, God! Back off, Rod. I'm not your husband. I hate that. And that's a scary thing, too, in church, because people be like, God said. Like, well, he didn't say nothing to me.
No, he didn't.
Oh, and how we weaponize. Keep going. Because that's a whole other conversation.
Go ahead. But then it burdened me. And I got tired. And finally I was like, look, man, I'm tired of being single. I want to know what it feels like to be intimate. I want to know what it feels like to be loved, all those things. But that also led me, the tiredness, the not being checked on, the battling all the things led me into a space where I would say is a learning thing for me, right? But to others, it would be a mistake, or churches would say a moral failure or whatever. But during that season, that time, I'm leading worship, I'm doing all these things, I'm hurting on the inside, no one's checking. And I decided to experiment with a friend. But I decided to also experiment with my sexuality, which was already in question. But like churches are so iffy about that.
Always.
It's so iffy, so you're not sure who you can share that with, who you can't, all the things. And
it's very taboo.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, yeah.
So I did that for a while, and then me and that friend was like, no, this is not what God wants for us.
Yeah.
Right? And I started dating a girl who was an interest of mine that I was like, man, this girl's beautiful. She's attractive. I feel like she loves the Lord, all the things.
Yeah.
And on our first date, we started sharing things with each other. And some of the things that came up were the past experiments or experiences with our sexuality.
Yeah.
And to try to comfort her, I decided to share my story with her.
Yeah.
That date ended horrible.
No.
It ended horribly, and that information ended up going back to my worship leader. Right? And all this is long, very long story.
Yeah.
And that worship leader pretty much was like, Ayo, you know what it is. This is done and over with type of thing. You are now, and it fast forward me to, you're now going through a 6-month like recovery period, da da da. And I was like, okay, cool. But that
recovery. What was the recovery from?
So the leaders at that space, and this is not, and hear me out, this is not to throw anyone under the bus.
Sure.
This is just my own experiences and my journey, which brought me to Worship Afterisms, kind of catch you guys up. The pastors felt like, okay, look, that's not what we like here, and you're experimenting with your sexuality. You did that while you're in leadership. You have to sit down. And for me, up front, wholeheartedly, I was like, sure. You're a leader. You know the consequences of it. This consequence of my actions. So be it. I'm also young.
Yeah.
I feel like there should be a little grace. And if anybody knows me and did know me before all of this, I was a virgin for 29 years. Waiting for my spouse.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And I had one moment and I was like, okay, yeah, whatever. Like,
yeah.
Because even in that, like, that's a hard thing, because like Christians, you would talk to them about like saving yourself for marriage, and you get kind of joked about, like,
no, for real.
Like people kind of, even Christians who have the same standard or are supposed to have the same standard, are kind of joking on you, like, man, we all lost this a long time ago. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Right? What are you doing?
Yeah.
Go ahead, at this point.
Just give it up. Just, hey.
I succumb to peer pressure. Let's really talk about that.
No, for real. Yeah.
So I went through this whole, like, recovery period. And in the recovery, it was like, read some books, go to counseling, be accountable to pastors. Right? And I was like, okay, cool. Not a bad thing. Whatever. I'm already doing these things because that's what worship pastors should be doing. You should have accountability partners. You should be going to counseling, because there's a lot of weights that we carry while we're on stage that aren't ours, that we need to let go, right? You should be reading. You should be educating yourself on worship. Like, all those things should happen. I was like, okay, cool. That's not a big deal.
Yeah.
But that, I started to realize, was turning into an abusive circumstance. I would show up to counseling, like my first counseling session there. The counselor actually yelled at me, and I felt very unsafe. I expressed to my leader at the time, hey, this is not a safe space for me.
What were they yelling?
Well, because we had to talk about my sexuality, they pretty much thought, okay, you used to be really big, and now you're not big, and you're small now, and now, like, there was a whole attitude around it and around the sexuality part, that I guess offended that person. But I was like, this is a counseling session. You should be real unbiased and, like, trying to help me out, which was weird. But the pastor at the time, I was like, hey, I want to switch counselors, and anybody else that's a better fit. And they were just kind of like, no, this is the person I want you to go to, which I later found out was like a tactic to hear insight for the counseling session. And it was like, that sucks.
Yeah.
But that quickly turned into isolating me from friends. And then a story that was supposed to not be shared started being shared with more people than it should have been shared. You know?
That's my concern, is what was her motive? Like, what's the motive? I
have no idea.
Because and this is the young lady that said, or did she say that she felt like you were her husband? Or you guys just liked each other? You guys were attracted to each other?
It was for one date.
Okay, gotcha, yeah. But she felt the need to go back.
Yeah.
And interesting.
And share that story, which was crazy. And no blame on anybody or her or whatever.
Yeah, that was raggedy over, though.
It was raggedy, but...
She's raggedy for that. You're raggedy for that, ma'am, if you're watching. Go ahead.
But it's my own...
Yeah.
My own mistakes led to me being kind of, like, taken off platform and, like, transition. But what I didn't appreciate was the abuse that was under it. So I left, right?
Yeah.
And I decided to cancel my membership there altogether, but it was more of a battle, and it was like, no, you can't just leave us. And I was like, it's starting to become very culty at this point. Like, you can't just leave us. You have to do such and such and such and such. And then that turned into letters being sent out to the congregation about me leaving, and more saying. And the thing that I think hurt the most in that transition was, like, in one of their letters, it was like, the Holy Spirit has been removed from your life. And it was like,
they were saying that about you?
About me.
The Holy Spirit had been removed?
moved from you. And it was like, oh, okay. No, not so much. He still dwells with me. Like, that's crazy. Right? And I say that to say, I think,
Hey, what's up, guys? This is your host, Chris August of the Worship Afterisms podcast. Hey, I just wanted to take a moment to say thank you so much for being a supporter of our community and watching this month's episode. If you're looking for other ways to help support our community, check out our merch shop where you'll find t-shirts and hoodies and hats with our official logo on it. If you're wanting to be a part of the crew, you'll find other gear that has our Post Worshipers Crew logo on it. Get that and show your swag and your support for us. Everything that you purchase through that shop is a donation that helps support this keep going. If you made it this far, don't forget to slam that subscribe button, like and comment and share with your friends. Please feel free to comment under each one of our videos and tell us how we are helping you. Until next time, let's jump back into this episode. Talk to you later.
we as leaders have to be very careful with what we say and how we say it to people, because it can actually determine the trajectory of how their relationship continues with God,
Yeah.
and how we have to think about what we say. Is it more reparative into the heart of God, and how God is a restoring God,
Mm-hmm.
and he's restorative,
Mm-hmm.
or is it pretty much like, yeah, no, God no longer agrees with you. You have no relationship. And I think for me, if I was a Christian that was very immature, I would have taken that and I would have said, well, dang, ain't no need of me still trying in this relationship.
Yeah.
If I don't have access to the things that y'all said I would have access to, like, what's the point of me still continuing this relationship if God really hates me? And like, how can I even move further? Is there even restoration in this God? And
Yeah.
I can see how people now are like, well, I don't like it, and I also don't like God, right? Because
The people.
of the people and how they phrase things and what they say,
Yeah.
right? And we have to be very careful of that. So
Ooh, Jesus.
going through all of that, I had honestly some trauma, and I sat with myself for almost 2 years
Mm-hmm.
of
No affiliation to any church, no worship.
no real affiliation to
Okay.
any church, no singing worship at anyone's church. Every now and then I would have friends who were distant friends who would be like, hey, come sing with us.
Yeah.
And I would go sing. But it led, and for me, and the reason why I had to really step back for such a long time was it led to also anxiety. The trauma made me be like, I don't deserve this. I don't deserve this gift. I don't deserve to be in this position with the Lord. But what it had to show me, I believe, like through the anxiety that I experienced with it, I also got real experience with God's grace.
Yeah.
Yeah, he showed up and was like, no, that's what my grace is for.
Mm.
That all of those things, the failure that you feel like has removed you far from me, that's what my grace covers.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so I sat with myself for a while.
Mm-hmm.
And then in my sitting, God was like, you remember that thing I told you to start while you were there and while you were telling me you couldn't rest and you wouldn't go sit down? Remember that thing? You remember that that moment where we talked about a dream and like, and I was like, yeah, the one that I still, the one I still feel a little like, I can't do that. I don't even have the resources. I don't know if I can speak well, if anybody even want to hear me. Like, you sure? Yeah, like, and I felt like it was more of a like, I don't know if you've ever had a moment where God talks to you, but it feels more of like a tender warning, a soft warning of like, hey,
Jesus.
I want you to do this thing. It's bigger than you, but if you don't give me your yes, I'm going to give it to someone else.
Oof. Yeah.
That's what happened. And I was like,
no.
man, no, I don't. Okay, whatever. I'm going to use whatever I got. However I got.
Yeah.
I'm going to trust you, God, and I'm going to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And originally when I started Worship Afterisms, I was kind of like, All right, Lord, I don't know if I have a voice that people want to hear. I don't know if people want to actually see any person I bring on. I don't know if there's a story that people want to, but my desire is to help other leaders who are in it and feel like things that they're doing or dealing with is by themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Or if it's things that they feel like, oh my God, I'm also tired. Man, I can relate to Chris's story so much because like that's me right now. And like
Yeah.
maybe I need to actually hear God's voice and I actually need to take this break before I make a mistake. Like I want people to hear our stories
Yeah.
and find faith from it.
Yeah.
Right? Faith to do what God's called them to do, but also youth under us that are like, oh, I really love what you're doing, and I feel God calling me to that thing too.
Yeah.
So if I can share my mistakes with you, and my friends can share their mistakes with you,
Yeah.
you can kind of straight bypass that altogether, and you can be this healthy leader.
Yeah.
Now you're gonna still go through your own stuff and trials with God, and have to hear God's voice for yourself. But if I can share some things that help you kind of pivot well
Yeah.
or move well, I'm gonna do that. But here lately, I've actually like leading up in this whole season and
Mm-hmm.
going through and speaking with other people and hearing their stories as well. I've been pondering on maybe God is also sending me to the broken leader, the abused leader, the one that's been rejected, the one that feels like they no longer belong in the house of God,
Yeah.
the one that feels like God gave me and anointed me this gift and he still is with me in my secret place. But when I show up to church, I feel like there's eyes and I don't really belong there. Right? I have this one thing to say. You belong there.
Yeah.
God had to remind me of that also this season of like, you belong here.
Mm-hmm.
And he keeps bringing up the part in the Bible says, this one thing that I desire, that I might dwell in the house of the Lord forever,
Mm-hmm.
right? There's this prayer of this one thing I desire. God, no matter what, all the things that I endure, whatever, it's only one thing that I desire, and that's to dwell in the house of the Lord. And I feel like God has already answered that prayer for multiple people. But because we've heard the words of other people
Mm-hmm.
that said that we're not supposed to be there, we're still having to search. Oh, and I feel like God is giving me strength now and
Mm-hmm.
faith now to say, yeah, I belong here.
Mm-hmm.
You know why I belong here? Because God has given me access to be here.
Yeah.
Right? And even if I never sing another word or I never hit another platform,
Mm-hmm.
it doesn't mean that God isn't with me still.
Right.
And it doesn't mean that he doesn't have other things for me to do.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
So that kind of birthed it.
Well, first of all, that's wonderful.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing that with us. I do have a question for you, just to rewind just a little bit.
Yeah.
So the burnout that you were feeling, this was
Yeah.
at the same church, right?
Yeah.
That's crazy. That's crazy. Because I was just thinking while you were talking, like the burnout that you had ended up being a breakthrough for something else.
Yeah.
And it's crazy how certain things happen even when we don't obey.
Yeah.
God still gets the glory and we still win in the end.
Yeah.
Because I feel like if you had, hypothetically, you said, okay, I'm burnt out, I'm going to sit down.
Yeah.
Who's to say that even then you would have seen how that church operates behind closed doors and had a quicker exit?
Yeah.
But still, the journey, it's a painful one.
Yeah.
It's a traumatic one. But look where you are now.
Yeah.
And I hate that you had to deal with that, but I'm glad at the same time because you are exposing how, unfortunately, a lot of churches operate and how they treat their leaders.
Yeah.
Burnout is so real. I had burnout, but if I wanted to sit down, it was like, well, God's going to take your gift because I'm tired. Because I'm constantly pouring. I am empty. I have nothing to give. I'm tired. Yeah. And it was just weaponizing God. And well, if you don't do this, but basically they're wanting to get your gift. They're basically trying to use you, basically. Yeah. You know what I mean? Instead of, hey, she's tired and she does do a lot. He's tired. He does do, So you're definitely opening up and exposing how churches operate. Yeah. Sometimes, not all churches, but all of them, some of them, and how because the recovery period. What just the fluff and the situations that we go through, all because they heard something instead of actually sitting down and having a conversation with you, checking in with you. They weren't even checking in with you when you were dealing with the grief of losing loved ones. Yeah. And that's a real thing too, because it kind of goes both ways. You can't help it. As I'm assuming as a pastor, you think that everything is cool with your leaders unless they speak up about it. Yeah. But still, leaders are people. Yeah. Like, we're not superhuman.
That's facts.
We need all the prayer.
That's facts.
You know what I'm saying? And so I'm just grateful to you and grateful that you did end up listening to God and things happened the way that they did, all for you to end up here and just being a voice for worship leaders and people involved in ministry. So I'm excited. That story is, very, very encouraging, honestly. So I just want to know, what's next?
What's next? What's next for me? Honestly, I believe what's next for me is bigger than I can imagine. Okay. I'm in the process of working on season 2.
Okay.
Hello. Hey.
Okay. What was that? Okay.
How we even got to season 2, I have no idea. Right?
What?
It's nothing but like faith in it. Like quite literally like waking up at 3 and God being like, you edit here. Or like,
God.
Hey, you need to call this person today, like as you're moving and having your full-time job and all the things. Like you need to hit this person up because this person I want to be on the show. Yeah. God kind of did a whole lot of that for me for season 2. So I'm in the process of waiting for people to respond. Okay. In process of building my team a little bit bigger. Look at God.
Okay. Huh?
Hey, God's expanding a brand that I was like, okay, this is only going to be one season and people ain't going to hear me. And I'm now looking at like YouTube Reels and there's over 1,000 people watching. Yeah. Which is really cool.
Yeah.
And I never thought that would happen. So we're working on season 2, y'all.
Season 2.
Season 2 is about to have so many different fun things in it that is going to, I think, take it to the next level. But they're all God dreams. Yeah. Yeah. And
is there a theme for season 2?
Ooh, there actually is a theme. I feel like season 1 was all about forgiveness and healing.
Yes.
And God revealing that through people's stories and God being restorative. But I think season 2 is all about faith and bigger. And I think they go hand in hand, like God saying, dream bigger, have a bigger faith. Faith in me. I know you can't see it, but it's a lot bigger. Dream bigger, right? So there's a lot of things that I'm like, oh, this God is going to be impossible. But it's going to happen, y'all.
It's not impossible.
It's big.
But all things are possible with God.
Facts.
Yeah. If you believe.
Faith.
Oh!
Right? Which is why
what is this? Like I don't know what I'm
it's the things that we do at church. Oh! So, yeah, season 2 is what's
Chris,
next.
I'm stuck.
There's more recordings.
Are you I'm hoping we can hear you sing because
that's coming.
I forgot to tell y'all, if you haven't seen the episode that I was on, I met Chris at a tiny desk recording for Vincent Orsolini. Vincent is actually here and he's doing the sound. Vince!
My boy.
Castle Studios. Okay.
Hey,
he's a bandmate of mine. He's a wonderful singer and pianist. All things musical. Castle Studios. Sorry to plug that in. But I met.
Do it.
Go to Castle Studios for your stuff. I met Chris there. Never met him ever in my life. And we just started cutting up.
Yeah.
We were singing. Church kids, it's like this silent alliance. It's not silent, but it's just like, I'm looking at you. I see you. I see. You're a church kid. Because, we be doing runs and just churching everything up and all that. And so Chris was just so sweet and we had so much fun. And so that's how we cultivated our friendship. And so it's just really great to see you do this. And so I really hope that you implement music in some kind of way, however you see fit. I don't know what you're gonna do, but if you could, if you could just worship. It's called Worship Afterisms, so you could worship on the show.
Actually,
I don't know.
If y'all want the plug, season 2, and I'll give this as a little bit of a dream. Season 2 actually will involve more music. There's another God-breathed extension to the Worship Afterisms podcast that actually is a collaborative with Castle Studios.
Oh, snap.
Castle Studios,
Castle Studios.
But God breathed something in me. Actually, when I was doing the episode with Zay, and we were talking about the episode of like worship being the garden and the garden that we return to. And God was like, hey, when you do music, return to the garden. And I was like, okay, so the garden?
Yeah.
And I was like, that's the name. So I actually hit up Vince and was like, yo, what you think about the garden? And the Lord was like, yeah, that's not trendy enough. So the next stage and step for y'all to Worship Afterisms is actually the Den.
Yes.
We shortened it. It's going to be collaborative with other artists.
Yay.
Hopefully me. I'm going to do a live performance, y'all.
You have
on
to.
The Den,
I need you to, please.
where we'll have a music element to this, where we'll actually bring you to the garden. We'll bring you to the Den, the place where we can hear God again. So be lookout for that. That's going to be really cool.
I'm so excited for you, friend. Look at you. When you follow his voice. Look at this. Look at this. Look how everything's coordinated. Look at you. Yeah. You have mics. This is serious.
Yes, it's getting serious. Look, y'all.
Yeah.
This stuff is not cheap.
Baby, listen, you ain't got to tell me. That's why I got a team. I'm not paying for that.
Donate if for real.
No, yeah.
Please donate if y'all like what y'all hearing. If you like these stories and you like these leaders that have been sitting on my couch, please buy into the vision. And please donate, grab a shirt. Mm-hmm. There'll be other ways to donate in season 2 right now. Grab a shirt, grab a t-shirt, become a part of our post-worshipers crew. Okay. And like rep the vision, rep the product, rep the shirt, and tell other friends about us. That's how we get out there.
Yay! Where can we follow you?
Yes, you can follow me on my personal Instagram for music at I am August Music. Mm-hmm. Or you can find the podcast as a whole on Worship Afterisms on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, all the things. And then you can hear us on streaming platforms, Spotify, as well as Apple. Mm-hmm. My own personal music is through Chris August. Hey. There's another man also called Chris August.
He's a white man.
And he's definitely going to pop up first.
It's two different. He's a black and a white one.
If you cannot find me through it's very much Neapolitan.
It's giving salt and pepper. That's what
I love
it. Yes.
I love it. But if you can't find me, definitely hit up my Instagram page. I am August Music, and you'll be able to find all my things on there and the music that I've done and the collaboratives that I've done. So
yes. Well, this has been fun, and I'm just so grateful for you to just ask me to be a part of this conversation. Yeah. Until next time, you guys, look out for season 2. We don't know when it's going to drop. You're going to surprise us like Beyonce.
Actually, no.
What? You're not? Huh?
I'm not going to surprise y'all. Come February is when we're going to do it.
Okay.
This is the last episode. So, and let me just kind of preface a little bit for y'all. My team is going to take a break for all of December and January. Okay. I believe in rest now. Hey, y'all. Oh! It's holy, y'all.
Oh, my God.
And I feel like you really need to allow yourself and your team to take a sabbatical for a season to hear God.
Absolutely.
And to hear him say, oh, we're going to pivot.
Yeah.
He's giving me vision already kind of for season 2, but I want to create space for our team to be restored and healed and get back on the mission, but also hear God if he says, oh, we pivoted.
Yeah.
Right? So we're going to take a break all of December and January, and then we'll be back in February. And we're going to drop an episode, and the Den's going to be a thing. So be on the lookout, y'all.
Awesome. Well, we'll look forward to seeing that. And you guys Have a great week. Have a great day. And keep blooming.
Woo, woo, woo. Love y'all.
What's up, guys? This your boy Chris August. I just got done recording our last episode of season 1. Oh my God, I can't believe that we are here. But I got a chance to do it with my girl Kimology, y'all. But make sure you like, follow, and subscribe on all of our pages. And you're sharing the podcast with your friends if this has been helpful to you. You can find us on all the platforms, Spotify, Apple, as well as YouTube. Y'all, I can't wait for season 2. But until then, much love, much peace, and I can't wait to see y'all there. Let's go.
Flipping through pages, looking for answers. Then you came and saved me. Never the same, forgave my transgressions, saved me from the pain. Everything's different, I promise you've been the change. I'm the one missing, but thinking you've